Welcome back, everybody. This is Proton Lorcana coming at you with another Deck Tech video. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. It was really, and all the show of support from all my friends. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so I hope this video you like it as well. What we're gonna do is basically just keep creating decks, and we're gonna pretty much just choose like a dual link and then just go, okay, this is what we're going to build it around. So we're going to, today we've chosen Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Yep. And we're just going to build a deck around it and see what sort of comes out in the wash. So yeah, let's run through the deck and see what you guys think of it. If you got a suggestion for a deck tech that you want covered, please just leave a comment or let me know directly. But yeah, so this card here is what we're building the deck around. Shift for Peter Pan or Tinkerbell. You can shift it on top of Peter Pan or Tinkerbell, and everyone gets evasive. So obviously Dumbo works really, as like the obvious fit in this. In the previous set, Champs actually got second, running a red-purple deck that was very similar to this. I just basically took out all the cards that got rotated out and just made a few tweaks here and there. The Tinkerbellas also went in that deck, but yeah, it's pretty much just every time you attack, you were drawing a card kind of deck and trying to tap them. There's a bit less because we don't have else's, but yeah, we'll get into that more as the deck progresses. But yes, so first up, we've got the Tinkerbell 3/1. It's just a great card. It looks cool, and it gives us the shift option for the give everything evasive. So that's our one drop there. Our other one drop is the Mr. Incredible, and we are running the shift Mr. Incredible shift 3. I just think it's a great card. It's really big and it draws when it attacks. We actually only have 16 supers in this deck, but it's kind of like Dumbo where you only have like 16 evasives before the Tinkerbell. But it's just, to me, I like it. I think it's a threat, and it replaces itself as soon as you shift. And yeah, so that's in there. So we got 4 of those, and we also got Mulan. Comes out with 2 damage. We are running the shift 5. It might be something that we take out of this deck eventually, but currently I'm kind of liking the threat of it. And it's always been like when you're reversing it, you just don't know if they've got the shift. And yeah, there's a few other things that go with it. Basically, I'm just playing with cards that I like, and I like Mulan ability. So when it comes out, it has 2 damage on it, and there is a few things that you can remove damage around the board as well. All right, and then we're going to move into our 2 slot now, and then so Morph is crazy good. Universal shift. The fact that it's a 1/2 is even better too, because it's actually just slightly harder to kill. And we are running a Mr. Incredible shift. We are running a Tinkerbell shift. And we are running a Mulan shift. So if we don't hit our lines, this is going to give us consistency to get there. So we're running 4 of those. And then we're running 4 Lumieres. This could be a controversial pick. I personally love it. It gives +1 to everything. It just makes Under the Sea that much worse, and it can give you some favorable trades. You can definitely do some things with Tinkerbell turn 1, Lumiere turn 2. If you need to get something with 4 health, you've got it. And if it doesn't work out, you can always ink it. So it's just I just like this card. And then we're going to move on to the 3 slot. So we're going to Violent Par. It's evasive, which is great. Hugely stated creature, and you can remove 1 damage. So sometimes you got 1 damage on Mulan or on something else already, like a Mr. Incredible or a Morph, and you can just flick it and have that evasive presence, and then that is sometimes just enough to have that there and that little flick. So I'm really liking that as a 3 drop. And then obviously the other 3 drop is the Cheshire Cat boost too. Everyone knows what this does, but essentially you can pay 2 to remove 2 damage counters from to something else, so you can just move damage around. Great card. I don't see that ever leaving the deck anytime soon. And then we're going to move into the 4 slot, and we'll show off this really cool miscut 4/4 super. When you play this character, exert chosen opposing character. So we've got big bodies with violent power. We've got Cheshire Cat if we need another big body. We've also got Tinkerbells. Yeah, we just got a lot that this can do. This is really just to control the board and really go with the theme that will make more sense as we show more of the deck. But essentially we are running the Queen Shift 2. When you challenge something you draw a card, and we're also running the Shift Mr. Incredible. When you win a super challenge something you draw a card. So we're just basically trying to clear the board and draw cards and just out card draw our opponent by clearing their board is really the theme of this deck. We've also got Dumbo, which is obviously peering into the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell shift target. It's evasive. You can pay 1 to draw a card and gain a lore on itself, and also your evasives also get that ability, so that works with violent power. And yep, we love that card, and it's pretty much what the whole deck is based around, is the Dumbo and the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell shift. So talking about the Queen of Hearts is a very forgotten card that a lot of people just not enough people play with this in red, and I don't know why, because I think it's incredible. It's a shift 2. When one of your characters challenges another character, you draw a card. So that's any character and it's itself. So, and it's a shift 2. So you can, with a morph, you can bring that in. I was running the other Queen, the Rush 2 one, but I just think that morph is just universally better. And sometimes you just play this on turn 5 anyway. So we've got this as a 5 slot, but potentially it could come in a lot sooner. And it's just a really cool card. So yeah, get your Queen of Hearts back in your deck. Everyone that's playing red, please, for the love of God. Then we got Mr. Incredible for another 5 cost, or a shift 3 that we can put onto the morph or the Mr. Incredible itself. And so basically it's a 6/4, so it's a big huge creature. It gets +2 for each other character in play, so you can pretty much deal with the whole board there, as long as it's not evasive. And then when your supers challenges another character, you draw a card. So we've got Violent Power as a super, Mr. Incredible itself, and we've got this. All up, we've got 16 supers that will replace themselves, or it's just the worst case scenario is that this is replacing itself. Not a bad card for a 5-drop that attacks and draws, or it just sits back and draws. Yeah, it's great. Love it. Love Mr. Incredible. And I love these 2 cards. Like literally the previous set, I'm just going to build a deck with Queen of Hearts and Mr. Incredible and tapped and play a little bit of supers. And it was great. I only lost, I think in the whole set champs, I only lost to a Steel Song. Just because they were able to kill everything that I had on the board. And they kept on docking me out. So, yeah. So I think this deck has probably got legs again. Sweet. So 5 drops again. We've got a fan favorite, Hades. Like, incredible card. When you play this card, your opponent chooses to put... You can target a creature, and the opponent chooses if they want to put that creature at the bottom of their deck, or they let you draw 2 cards. More than not, you're just going to draw 2 cards with this. Not a bad card. If you don't need cards, you just ink it. But yeah, it is a threat, right? Like, it's a great card. Pretty card. We like Hades. And then in our 6th slot, or another shift 5 slot, we have our Mulans. Incredible card there. It's shift 5. And when you play this character and you use shift, it gets +3. So you can have 5 attack there. And when this attacks, you can deal its damage, its attack damage. Right, yeah, when it deals damage in a challenge, you deal the same amount of damage to 2 other characters. So you can literally, on that shift, do 5 damage to 2 other characters. And I love this card personally. It might be that we don't need this anymore. It is 8 cards. And it's probably not good enough anymore, but I love it, and I'm all about playing with your favorite cards. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing Shift Milan while it's legal, as long as I can, because I just think it's cool. And when you're versing a Mulan out in play, or a red deck and you're thinking, oh, they're going to play Milan, it's a real mind game, that one. So I just think it is a good card. Then we got a 6-drop, we got our Demona. So, yep, everyone knows what this does. You tap everything on your opponent's side and everyone draws until they have 3 cards. So, yep, we're just looking to tap, control the board, or draw 3 cards. And if not, we're just going to ink it because, as you can see, this deck is really low on uninkables. I think so far we only got 4 showing with the Isis. Everything else in this deck is inkable. So this deck is about inking every turn and tapping and drawing with these cards when we attack. If we fail, we've got the Dumbos to draw, we've got the Hades to draw, and we've got the Demona to draw. So we're not really struggling with card draw here. And then to top it all off, we got the Tinkerbell, which is the shift 4, so we can play that on top of Tinkerbell, the 1 slot there, or we can play on top of Morph, or we can just play it out for 6. Because we are going to be inking every turn, and everything gets evasive. So it just on my board gets evasive. So everything is now that much harder for them to attack me back with. And if I got Dumbo, I can then just everything can now draw me a card and get a law. So really, it's a Peter Pan and Dumbo deck with just a whole bunch of creatures that can shift into something bigger that can draw. So that's the concept behind this deck. Online, it hasn't been testing out that great, but I've only played like 4 different matches with it, so it's a pretty small testing pool. But in person, it's been going a lot better. It definitely beats the Toys deck. I haven't versed a Mickey deck with it yet, but I would say that this is just a solid deck. There's plenty of room for you to make adjustments. Like I think if you didn't like the Mulans, you could easily take them out and just put the 2-cost Reckless guy in, and you could also put the 4/2 Reckless if you really wanted just to control the board early game in these slots here. You could do that, and then get into your big creatures doing the drawy stuff. You could do that. So there is flexibility to change this. I think that these 2 cards are pretty much standard, and if you go in purple red, but not everyone's going to agree with me on that. I also think that card and that card's also standard. So these 8 cards, and then we got the Dumbo, that Demona, Pigba, really just a whole bunch of stuff. So that in my mind is incredible. But I think probably the weakest cards, if you were looking to change, are these ones here. And just because it's just too hard to set it up, and really at the end of the day, you probably don't need it. You can definitely put the things that return cards back into your opponent's hand. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do in regards to that. If you don't have the Dumbos and the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, obviously there's not a deck for you. But if you do, you can get. It's not that hard to get the play sets of Incredibles or Queen of Hearts and just play more the tapping game with that. There's a lot of things that you can really do with this deck, and with these colors. So you can just choose your favorite cards in those colors that you think is better and run it that way. But yeah, not saying that this is how you should run the deck. I'm just saying this is the way I like to run the deck, because I'm playing with the cards that I like to use, and I want you guys to be playing with the cards that you like the most as well. So this is the my first take on the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell Dumbo deck, and yeah, hope you guys liked it, and thank you again for subscribing and liking. Please leave a comment and subscribe and like if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next Deck Tech. Cheers guys, bye.